What's next? You'll miss out more training, no doubt.
Yeah, that's an unfortunate consequence for anyone who becomes a case, who's a confirmed case of coronavirus. So the isolation period starts from when that case is confirmed. For ordinary coronavirus, that period is at least 10 days, so you have to be free of symptoms for 3 days and complete that 10 days. For the variants of concern, including the B117 or the UK strain as some call it, that period of isolation is 14 days. So it will depend on those elements, and you need to be symptom-free and medically cleared.
So we don't know if it is a UK strain at this point? And secondly, is this kind of proof, I guess, that these hard quarantine measures were necessary?
It's certainly proof that the hard quarantine measures were necessary. You do need to manage each and every case with a great deal of precaution. In terms of the individual variants, we wouldn't provide that individual information.
You know the cases now have been linked to the strain. You get that figure?
I don't have that figure today. That's for CQV to update.
Do you have, with this case, sat on a plane with somebody quite close to her, do you have a second SA really close contact list and now monitoring on top of everyone?
No, look, really the approach we've taken is that everyone on that flight, and this has been questioned, but it's entirely appropriate and it's been borne out by this, everyone on those flights are considered close contacts, and they are managed in strict quarantine for that reason. So they don't have training opportunities for that 14-day period as a consequence, but we're not managing the closer of those close contacts any differently. Everyone is considered a close contact. They go through the strict quarantine process for 14 days.
I think to Ruud's point, does this extend another 14 days for this positive test for everyone on that plane? Does that start again if you like?
So no, the 14-day quarantine period is on arrival, but what it means is that they don't have the training opportunities that others do.
I guess now that the test is positive, they're not concerned that other people may develop that quarantine starts again?
Yeah, so for anyone else who might develop illness, become a case in that 14-day quarantine period, they then become a confirmed case. They need their isolation period to begin from that time. So that's at least 10 days, as I say.
Premier, what do these changes mean for policing the borders, or they're still checking?
Yeah. Sydney, places like Cumberland, do you think they're far away from becoming orange, or is it an area still of deep concern for us?
No, I certainly hope they're not far away. Obviously, some days of zero in New South Wales, we need to keep an eye on that, LGA in particular, but the fact that you've got consecutive days with no new cases and the previous cases really being in known close contacts is all encouraging, and so it might only be a matter of days before there's a change to that status. We do like to see that 14-day period of no new cases and no new exposure sites. So they're things to watch for Cumberland in particular.
Well, people who have been granted an exemption and are returning from those areas of Sydney before 6 p.m. tonight have to isolate for 14 days, and those arriving after 6 p.m. won't?
No, there'll be a review of all of those who've been granted exemptions with conditions of 14-day quarantine, and they'll be reached out to around their individual circumstances.
And what are your views on protests, parades, gatherings on Australia Day? What is the first?
Obviously, the public health advice is always framed in the directions. The directions give public gathering limits, indoors and outdoors. The public events framework is the framework that's given a particular size to other public events, but it goes through an assessment process of being COVID safe and having other risk mitigations in place. So, the concern about any protests is that they do not necessarily have those mitigations in place, and I would encourage any event organiser, protest or otherwise, to go through the public events process to make sure that those mitigations are locked in.
On our restrictions, do you look at beyond 30 people in a home, or is this still
Look, I think it's all up for debate every day. At the moment, it's 30, but the introduction of vaccine changes the risk profile again. If we see that happening from the beginning of March or mid-Feb, then we'll review in that context, and there is a potential for bigger private gatherings as well. Thanks all.
Thanks very much, guys.